All right, 6 Tennessee players received invitations to the NFL Combine this week. James Pierce, Omar Norman-Lott, Dylan Sampson, Elijah Simmons, Brew McCoy, and Dante Thornton. Cooper Mays, praised locally, high and low, consistently, did not get an invitation. My question, were you surprised by anybody who did get an invitation? Were you surprised by anyone who did not get invited? I threw out Mays. Maybe there's somebody else that you're sitting there. Josh, I know. Where's Will Brooks? You said before the show. Are there any surprises on who made the list or who didn't make the list?
I think Cooper Mays, to me, is by far the biggest surprise for not making the list. You can make an argument for those other guys. I mean, Thornton's got the speed.
Yeah.
Brew McCoy, you know, he's a big possession receiver that blocks pretty well. All these other guys. It really surprised me about Cooper Mays, and it wouldn't surprise me if somebody picks him up in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, and he ends up having a really, really good career. Because if you sit there and watch him, he does a lot of things really well, and I know the NFL picks apart all the little things you don't. But I'm surprised at Cooper Mays.
His size
It's undersized.
They've talked
is what
about
it's by NFL standards.
They've talked about his size. He probably can't be guard. He's just a center. They're also talking about the fact that he's had injuries. His junior year was hurt by injuries. But I have a couple other technical notes that I read. But were you any other surprises? We got about 3 minutes here.
I think Brew McCoy is a little bit of a surprise just based on the injury factor there and games lost, and especially later in his
surprised
college
that he
year.
was invited.
Yeah. And Dante, I mean, he flashed against Vanderbilt, so maybe that looks really good.
He's got speed.
He's got speed, so you can take him. But
Brew McCoy surprised me a little
Brew,
bit.
Brew.
I mean,
I was surprised Cooper didn't get invited because we know how important he was to Tennessee, but he was a finalist for the Remington Trophy, which means he was getting that national attention.
Yep,
there it is.
A year ago, he was on the Senior Bowl kind of watch list. I don't know if it was an official watch list, but the executive director said, we're watching Cooper Mays, and then he came back for another year. So I would think that would have gotten him some NFL attention. Brew McCoy going to the Senior Bowl or at least being invited to it, is why I was not surprised by him. Names that I might be a little surprised would be like an Amari Thomas. I'm not stunned at all, but I could have seen him there if Elijah Simmons.
More of these defensive
because
line,
Amari played a bigger role for Tennessee than Elijah. Elijah has physical traits, though, that NFL teams will want to see.
You mean the beautiful singing voice.
That's part of
Yeah.
it.
Tyler, you get the last question here, and that is, did Cooper Mays make a mistake in coming back last year?
No, if this is where he knew that his career was going, so he could scoop up a little bit more NIL dollars. Now, he clearly isn't thinking that at the time, but the way that it plays out, he sees his brother as a 6th rounder to Carolina. There were a lot of people who believed that Cooper had better attributes than what his brother did during his time here in Knoxville. I'm going to say no, but hindsight's always 20/20. To answer your original question, I'm very surprised Cooper didn't get an invite to the Combine.
go prove him wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
Go prove
I
him
always
wrong.
like it when guys who come back, it pays off for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how it pays off for him. But right now, not getting a Combine invite, that's surprising to me. When we come back, how important is this year's NFL Draft to Josh Heupel and your Tennessee Volunteers? We'll discuss that, and I'll tell you why I'm asking it. Come on back.